Hello, y'all. It's LA. How y'all doing in the world? I want to talk about a topic that's going to be real important that I need to talk about, and that's relationships. And I also want to pray for everybody out there. Dear Lord, watch over everybody. Give them the guidance. Give them the strength to handle whatever is coming towards them, what they have to do and what they have to accomplish. And help us against this coronavirus to fight with your energy and so we can fight for our family and fight for mankind. For they can be here and be striving like you would want us to do. And dear Lord, bless those who don't have like much. And I thank you for everything you've done for mine. Bless the ones that's in the hospital that need your Heavenly Father. I want to tell you, thank you. Watch over them. Give them some kind of hope and sign that you're there. Because I know you're watching over them, and I put them in your hands. And I want to tell you, thank you for whatever you do for us. And I want to tell you, we've never forgotten you. Grace is God, and Lord, Jehovah, and we never forgotten you. And then you've got many names. So I said all of them, so it wouldn't be a problem. Because you know who I'm talking about. You the man. You always going to be the man in my book. And I want to tell you once again, thank you for helping mine in the world today. And watching over my husband. Thank you. Amen. Well, okay, that's the start. Here we go. I want to talk about relationships. Okay, now how do I know about relationships? This is allegedly, this is my own personal opinion. And don't mind without the makeup, because when I put my makeup on, I'm fly without makeup. Because in my mind, I'm beautiful. God made us women beautiful. So I'm not going to trip about the little stuff. It's the big stuff you got to worry about that people just make so much of. Anyway, the people just make so much of. And I want to tell you about relationships. Because I've been married about 17 years. And 17 years of very much, you got to learn to compromise. That's hard for a woman. One thing you have to learn in relationships, oh man, it's going to have flaws. But what flaws you accept is the thing. What do you accept your man to have? Now, there's some men that are straightforward and you're not catching up because they're older than you. They think they're older than you and they're superior than you. And you're the young pole and they're gonna think like they're the oldest and you're the youngest. So you got to give them their little leeway. You got to make them feel like the king, like they got away with stuff. Because they feel like they can just shut you up when they want to. But you let them feel that way. Give them that power to make them feel like they're in charge of their family. The head of the head of the family. Because when they feel like they ain't, they get to distance themselves. And all it is about they want to make the rules and this. But women these days, we don't like men to just make all the rules. And the women don't got nothing to say because women are important too. But some men, they forget that. Just remember, men ain't perfect either. And what flaws you accept when you get in a relationship or whoever you're married. Don't think you can change a man. They are who they are. If they choose to change, then that works. But my motto is this, and believe it or not, this is my whole thing to situation. Sometimes you got to let them do things. You got to let them feel you where you come from. Even if you can't explain it to them and they don't let you speak it, but they know how you feel later on because you're not going to go for it. Okay? You don't have to argue with your mate. If the mate, one of y'all's in a bad mood or you feel like arguing, do this. Why would you both argue when you know doggone well you're not talkable? I learned that in relationship. If you're not talkable, you can wait till another day because sometimes it's no understanding with that, especially when one's older than you. They feel like they can say and do what they like because they're older than you. And they think they're wiser than you. Mostly that's true. But then the females, we got our wives too. Don't get it twisted. It's just that people and males think we're the lower link sometimes. And to make you feel better and to make them better, they like to use their testosterone and stuff. There's some men forget another thing. Never forget this. You remember how you got your woman. or you got your man. You got to keep that up. You lose that and you start taking them for granted and you start not showing that you love or care for them, you may lose what you have. And that's communication. Sometimes women, we don't have to say nothing to get what we want. Because when we're treated with flowers, or you're not told you're beautiful, or even when the days you don't got makeup on, you just want to hear that you look good. But sometimes there's some ain't gonna do that. And you gotta accept that because that's the way they are. If you don't, then you shouldn't have married them in the first place because that's who they is. But I'm gonna tell you something, men are not perfect. Either they sleep too long, or some of them might not do nothing too long, or they might not say nothing too long. But I'm telling you, men got flaws, just like us women. Some women are too bossy, which I agree. I can be a little bossy because I'm an Aries, and Aries think they're top of the line. And you know we top of the sign. But then you talking about Aquariuses, they're the ones that don't like to argue. They're distance. They're like, I call them in their head a lot. They be in their head a lot. In other words, what that is, when you interrupt that head, put something on that head, they get headaches when you start talking because they don't. And it's funny, but they love you, but that's in their way. They just don't like to talk. Some Aquariuses do not like to talk, just like any regular people. You get with a man that do not like to talk and don't know how to express yourself. Sometimes they don't know how expressing themselves. But when they got you, they had to do something to get you. But they forget if they still want to do that. As they get older, she'll be there. I ain't got to do all that. But sometimes you need flowers. Sometimes you need candy. Sometimes you need to be told you look good today. You're a sweetheart, and I just love you to death. You got to show the female especially, because if you want a female to stay interested in you males of same sex, you got to put stuff out there. Sometimes we forget when we get older. We get lazy and we get like that person don't need all that, but they're still a woman and they're still a male. And some things the males don't like is getting in their pockets. If you finna get in their pockets, then they ain't got much to say. Especially when you talking about bills. You talking about, oh, well, give me some of that. I need some change, or I'm going to the store to spend up. They don't like all that. Mine, he saves more than he figures. And they'll say they broke. We know they ain't broke, but they'll say it. Because they figure you spend all the money, then you're going to be coming back. And then the times that you do need it, sometimes they don't want to give it to you. But it'd be funny to me because I figure like this. I love you, but we have to work to keep each other. It ain't always me to keep you in line or keep you. We're supposed to work together as one, but sometimes that don't be working out like that. Males do something different than females. I don't know, as you get older, there's few that are real cuddly and emotional, and then there's some that just serious and they're not. But, I have mine is kind of like a king versus. He likes to be the top. People respect him even when he's not talking. You can look at my husband and he gonna get his respect because that's just the way it is. It's the way he talks, just the way he moves. And, there's nothing wrong with that. He just who he is. He just likes to be the king. He won't take the title, but that's what he is. And all men want to be the king, and they want you to serve their plate, treat them special. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you got to spoil somebody, but the only thing you got to remember, ladies, you deserve to get spoiled too sometimes. When you sick and you still got to get up, man, that's cruelty. But sometimes in relationships, men forget that. We women need to be treated with our plates, put our feet up, rub our feet, rub our back, rub our knees, whatever's aching us, but that don't happen because, I don't know, sometimes when you get older, they get lost in age. And I got lost in age, but I'm like this. I'm a mean person sometimes because I think it's because I get quiet because sometimes you get aggravated because the attention that you're wanting, so you start stuff to get attention. If you don't make juice in your relationship, it's going to be dull. So you start that man, get him fired up and you like to hear that testosterone come out. What? Long as he's not hitting and abusing you and he's just basically talking, And y'all, but the thing is, if it leads to serious arguments, then you back off and you go about your business, because it's not about arguments. It's about attention. It's about showing that you care. It's about showing that you give an F, but sometimes they forget that. They just do, and they get caught in themselves. And they forget that we need flowers and candies, even though you don't like it, but you still offer it to them. Just like when you go to the store and you say, well, my husband would like this. Even though I'm mean, I still like things. My husband, I don't know how to explain romance, because I guess his romance, I don't know. It just, it is what it is. I'm proud. I love him for who he is, because he's quiet. He's lovable. He's just quiet. And he likes peace, and he likes no talk. Sometimes I talk too much. That's why he don't like to listen, because sometimes I put a sting into it. We all do that. In relationships, we kind of forget that we all have a voice. And us women, we talk a lot. But it's enjoyable. If a man didn't like what we talk about, then what you marry me for? You got to have talk and communication. That's a big must in a marriage or in a relationship, even if you're boyfriend and girlfriend. Because I tell you, I ran into some stuff today and yesterday with my... And I just want to tell y'all, keep your heads up about this corona. Don't let this corona mess up y'all relationship. Corona makes people crazy. It does. And anyway, here, I didn't come to talk on here to talk about nobody. I just know that people need to get a grip, because what's out here is deadly. We're going to have to come together in relationships or marriages and fight for your life, because that's what it is. God got your back. Remember that. God is the almighty detective. He can straighten out this mess. Don't believe that you get caught up in I'm scared I'm going to lose my relationship. Relationships God made together. He made man and he made woman. The problem is sometimes we forget the whole basics of it. We forget what it was made and designed to do. Okay? And what I mean by that is we forget what the Bible says about marriage. Marriage is a two-way street, and you have to communicate and you have to pray. Because there's days you're not going to like each other. There's days you feel like you just can't stand each other. And there's days you love each other. And there's days you just wish your mates would shut up and stop complaining. That's the way it is. Sometimes we forget that you got to work hard, just like you did when you got a person. But some people forget that. Just remember, relationships is both work. And if you got two strong people with two strong minds and nobody to bow down, it's just sometimes you have to bow down, one of you. You have to compromise. You have to walk away. If it gets too heated, just walk away. That's what I found in a relationship. You have to compromise. And if the other is feeling some kind of that way, that he's got his thoughts through and he's the boss, you got to suck it in and go in the room and just let it go. Let God deal with it. Because why argue with him? It's useless to me. I used to think arguing was everything. But arguing doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't solve nothing. It doesn't stop nothing. At the end of the day, you got to show each other you love each other. And you do, because you got each other together. You've been in love for a long time, or you just know each other in a relationship a long time. Girlfriend, boyfriend, you know each other's movements. You know each other when they go to the bathroom. You know all about them. You just got to learn to love better. Love keeps you together, and God puts you together. So you got to keep it together. Don't let this coronavirus separate anybody. Just remember, what happens in these streets is not all your fault or mine. It's just the time, and it's your time to go. Sometimes it's everybody's different times. We all leave in different ways. How you leave, we don't know. So we have to keep our minds that we're going to leave in a nice way. And relationship-wise, you're going to mourn, you're going to cry. But you got to remember, God's cleaning up. He's cleaning up, and we got to clean up ourselves. Because we're not cleaning up ourselves individually. Like, you go there, and you go at different times when you're married sometimes, and you got to go to God at different times. You got to speak for yours, and he got to speak for his. And if you did wrong, believe me, I don't got to worry about it. God take care of everything. He gonna make the world sing before this is over with. Because this virus is a lesson. It's to see what we're gonna do, because we forgot to believe. We don't use God like we used to. We think it's a myth for young people, but He's the one that you need to pray to. He's the one upstairs that you need to ask to watch over you. And you got to use a little common sense out in these streets. Stay out of them, because the more you go out there, it's in the air, you got a chance to get it. You better limit your access if you don't know how to deal with it. I learned that. I got different solutions, and God forbid, right now I'm doing blessed. So I want to tell y'all thank you for listening. I'm going to get back on there and tell you more, but it's my bedtime and I'm really tired. So I want to tell y'all thank you for listening. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll have some more things to say because I got plenty more to come.